All right, so I'm drilling the 1/8" holes, all 41 of them, 42 of them. Pre-drilled to accept that already. Set it in there with the hammer, and I say, cool. Hold it without burning my fingers. I really like it. Hey y'all, it's Brandon. So, working on a new project. I'm gonna try to build a roof rack for the Suburban that resembles a Prinsu rack. Really, it would be just like the baseline Overland rack. I really like the roof racks he has for those. I can't spend that kind of money right now. So it's easier for me to spend $50 on metal and build it. So for now, I'm gonna use the tubes there for the crossbars. But I do think I will buy some extruded aluminum, 1 inch by 2 inch extruded aluminum, and use that for the crossbars. I'm afraid the rack's gonna get a little heavy. I don't know what the baseline Overland rack, the weight of it is, but I think if I do extruded aluminum on the crossbars, that it would dramatically cut my weight down. Maybe not. The extruded aluminum has a lot more metal in it than 1 inch 1/8 wall tubing. But with the 1/8 wall tubing, I can't really mount anything to it unless I use U-bolts. And I hate the way U-bolts look. And the extruded aluminum would be so nice to put just T-nuts in and tighten it up. I can go with the tubing for the crossbars first, and then drill holes and put the extruded aluminum in when I get the money for that. So as you can see, I've made the cardboard template. This thing is 120 inches long. It goes from the windshield to the back glass. And I actually was able to get a 10-foot piece of 1/8 inch by 8 inch strap. I've drawn my patterns out on the strap, and you can see that I barely bought enough metal for that. I bought the metal a few months ago, just guessing how long it would be, and by George, I did it. So as you can see, the crossbars, they're just going to be 1 inch by 1/8 inch tubing, and I'm going to weld a nut to a washer and then weld the washer to this, and then that way I can tighten it up on either end. This one already has a bend in it, so I'm not very confident those are going to last. But I also bought some 2.5 inch strap to make my mounts out of, and you can see I just pulled the mounts off of the factory roof rack here. Just pulled those off and traced them out. Got the holes in them, so that should be pretty easy to do. And then the extra piece of strap, sorry, that was very loud, sorry. The extra piece of strap here is what I'll use to connect from the base plate, the mounting plates, to the side, and I'll just weld all that together. This right here will give me the full length of the Suburban. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'll put in a little video I made last night of the cardboard template taped to the top, and kind of give you an idea what it looks like. All right, so I'll just trim them up with the flat disc, round the edges off, make it all fit, and I got 7 more to go, so that's gonna be pretty quick, and then I get to drill all the holes. So I got both of the pieces cut out. See 2 pieces there. So next step, I think I'm going to tack weld them together, and then I will grind these all down the same, make a match. I think I got this little concave. We'll have to smooth that out a little bit. I don't like that. But there's the 2 sides to my rack. All right, so I got them cut out. I have my pieces clamped together. And if I clamp them together and grind them, there's a chance they're gonna move. So what I'm gonna do on this straight edge, I'm gonna go through it, I'm gonna put tack welds about every foot and weld them together. That way I know they don't move. And then flip them over and do a couple tack welds on the bottom that I'm gonna grind and make them the same. You can see they're close. I have to round the edges and stuff off. But I really want to get them as close to the same as possible, and I want this top edge to be flat. So I want, you know, top of the Suburban rounds a little bit, but I want the roof rack to be flat all the way across instead of rounded with the Suburban. That's a really long roof rack. All right, so as you can see, I tacked all the way across there. So now I should be able to remove my clamps. All right, so I got it up on sawhorses here. And you can see what I'm going to sand them to where they're level across there. The bottoms are level, which will be the top. That way I can make sure I round all my edges the same on both of them. So I just cut some notches in the top of the sawhorses and stood it up in there. It'll be the easiest way for me to work on it. So now I'm gonna spend about an hour grinding. So I have a couple options here what I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna start out with the actual grinding disc, and then I'll swap to the 40 grit flat disc. That should make pretty quick work of it. All right, so I'm drilling the 1/8" holes, pilot holes, and then I'll go through and drill all of the 1/4" holes. That way I have my spacing right. All right, so I got all my 1/8" holes drilled, all 41 of them, 42 of them. So now I'll go through my 1/4" bit and drill all those out. And they're spaced at 20 millimeters to accept the holes in the 20 by 40 extruded aluminum. So if I ever decide to change all this from the round tube over there to the extruded aluminum, which I probably will at some point, then I have them drilled, pre-drilled to accept that already. All right, you know, one thing I figured out is I can take the 1/4 inch grade 8 nut and the 5/16 grade 5 washer. I set it in there with the hammer and I said cool, and smacked it in there. So now that holds in there so I can weld it without burning my fingers. I really like that. You don't have to hit it near as hard as I thought. Tacked in there. They look pretty good from the outside. Now clean up and paint good. Yeah, the inside's not so pretty. I got all of my tubes cut. They are 53 inches long. So, well, after I weld my caps on the ends, they'll be 53 inches long. So that's how far apart each plate will be, is 53 inches. So the rack will come 3 inches past these bolts. So that's going to put the rack about even with the outside of this rain gutter all the way down. So you can see how wide it'll be. Then I'll stand in the front and you can kind of gauge how wide it's going to be. And then I think that looks better when a rack goes all the way to the edge of the vehicle instead of tucked up in the middle. Y'all, I got the 4 cross braces welded up. Looking pretty good. So these will go in between my side plates, and these will be the top rails of the rack. I'm gonna buy 20 more foot of this pipe, or 2, and get 4 more out of it. So that'll give me 8. So I think instead of putting one here at the very bottom and having to bend it to go around the front of the wind or the top of the windshield, I'm going to be able to try to adjust it here to get it as close to the top of the windshield as possible without touching. So there will be 1, 2. And then this one will have adjustment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 at the very end. I'm still debating whether I want to put another one here at the bottom. I don't think so. I think with this one here, it'll be good enough. And then, you know, the mounts will keep it from spreading or cocking side to side. So for now, these will work for now to get the roof rack built. And then I can build the other 4 later. But that's all for tonight. It's 10 o'clock and I gotta work in the morning. So this will be the first part of probably a 2-part video on this roof rack build. It's taking a little longer than I thought, so after I get done with this, I'm going to bed, and tomorrow I'll start working on the second video of the roof rack build, and hopefully by the end of the second video I'll have it on the roof and painted, maybe, hopefully. This is going to be 20-minute video or so, so it's going to be a pretty long one already. I don't like running videos that long, but sometimes they just happen like that. So as you can see behind me, I couldn't help but throw it together. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it looks like after this little clip. If you like videos like this, please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you watching, and thanks.